Hey, Scarefest fans. This is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. It's a short week. I spent most of my time watching Blind Manor in the last 2 weeks. Do that review last week, which somehow wasn't on Facebook. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I want to talk about a guy, a director from the 80s. He's made some stuff since then. He's done some writing. He worked on the last Predator movie with his buddy Shane Black, but his name's Fred Dekker. I'm a fan of Fred Dekker's, and you're probably a fan of Fred Dekker's too, and you just don't know it. I've mentioned him on here before. He wrote one of my favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes. But he did 2 movies when he was hot shit coming out of film school, and they came out in the mid-'80s, and neither one of them did really well. So the first one was this little thing called Night of the Creeps. Night of the Creeps is a batshit film that has zombies, aliens, more aliens, stupid teenagers, college students, a great soundtrack, one of the best character actors of all time, Tom Atkins. Slugs, space slugs. If you ever seen a movie called Slither, which I highly recommend, one of my favorite films, James Gunn. It rips a lot off of this, even though he says it didn't. Night of the Creeps is a lot of fun, but it wasn't a big success. He'd already signed the deal to do his second film, which you all probably know even better, Monster Squad, before that actually came out. Now, the Monster Squad is considered probably his best film, but I'm here to argue a point that it isn't. Now, you all are going to tell me I'm a horrible human being and the Monster Squad is part of your childhood, and how could I dare ever say a bad thing about it? Well, I'm not going to say a bad thing about it. I like Monster Squad too, but have you watched it recently? Have you actually watched Wolfman Has Nars recently? Scenes hold up. It's great. It's about 82 minutes. It flies by, but this thing has plot holes big enough to drive a freaking truck through. Dracula just shows up in certain places, certain instances. I only get 4 minutes on here, so it's hard to break it all down. What I'd like for you to do this Thanksgiving weekend is stay safe and eat a lot. But past that, I want you to do me a favor. I want to get an argument out of some of you. Not necessarily an argument, but let's say some sort of dialogue, if you will, between Night of the Creeps and the Monster Squad. Now, this wasn't a big hit. You remember it being famous and it's, oh my God, Monster Squad, because it played on HBO 5,000 times when you were a child. Looking back, I don't even think this cracked the top 10 when it came out. It almost killed his career. And then a few years later, he got the chance to make another movie, which was a sequel that did finish his directing career. It was called Robocop 3. I still like Fred Dekker. I still really like both of these movies. I'm just here to say that Night of the Creeps is superior to the Monster Squad. Now, here's what you do. You either go to Evil Joe, Twitter, or look me up on Facebook, Joe Lewis. Feel free to add me or argue with me and tell me why you think Monster Squad is better than Night of the Creeps. Now, I want you to look at them both, rewatch them, and come back to me. Come right back to me. This movie, a lot of fun. Kids are great. Doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. This movie, a lot of fun, has some nudity, blood, guts, gore. It doesn't quite have the flaws that this one does. So if you could come back to me and tell me why I should prefer Monster Squad more than Night of the Creeps, I'll be so excited. So you can find me on Evil Joe on Twitter or Joe Lewis on Facebook, or you can just send all your hate mail to Wes. Wes likes hate mail. I really think Wes likes hate. That's okay, though. I love Wes. And I love everybody. And I love all you. Well, I don't love everybody, but I love my Scarefest family. So this is Joe Lewis. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Tune in next week for a review of something that'll be new, I promise, when I have a few more hours. Stay safe.